Hello, welcome to Local Edition. I'm Leslie Leyton. The city of La Habra recently updated its general plan, its big vision master plan, projecting 20 years down the future what the city will be like. With us now is the mayor of La Habra, Mike Blazey, to tell us a little bit about that plan and how it involves a lot more homes, places to live. Welcome.
Thank you, Leslie. It sets the tone that we can be a little bit more flexible in what properties can be developed as. And just to back up a little bit about the process, we worked with a consultant who very graciously, and I say that very sincerely, put together and attended a series of about 17 public workshops, both with the General Plan Advisory Committee, made up of the business community, local residents, and members of planning and city council. Put that all together and met multiple times and figured out a strategy for what we would hope could be done in places that are currently vacant or places that might be in transition in the future.
And it can't be underappreciated what each of those meetings means. 17, right. A lot of work, a lot of time goes into those. What came out of it is a projection of more places to live, more comfortable place for businesses to do business. Let's talk about some of the residential areas, because some of it's really innovative as far as like exchanging one use for another use.
Right. One of the things that we were sorry to see La Habra lose a couple years ago was Don C's Chevrolet, one of our longtime businesses, been in place probably about 60 years. But they lost their dealership in the shakeup of the GM Corporation, and the property sat vacant for a while, and we had a firm come in and say they would like to develop housing on it. So that project is now underway. There'll be 32 higher-end homes, about $800,000 a piece, 27,000 square feet. The grading has been done, and project should be fully complete by 2017 would be the best guess.
So it's a transformation, our old landmarks and now new landmarks.
Yes. And we would have loved to have seen another business go in there, especially one that generated as much tax revenue, sales tax revenue as did Don C's Chevrolet. But the community changes over time, and we feel housing is probably the better opportunity. And
then there's also apartments going in.
Right. We have a company by the name of Fairfield who approached us several years ago wanting, and I have to hand it to their representative. He attended every one of those planning advisory committee meetings.
They go on and on, don't they?
Yes, they do. And he was very much wanting to see the flexibility to put the high-end apartments in the location where the Samsung Church used to be. We also have hate to say it, but a rundown motel that was on this adjacent property. They've acquired that now. What I found most welcome by the representatives of Fairfield is they did their work in the community and they got buy-in from the neighbors.
And a really innovative change coming for City Hall.
Right.
You're doing a real swap out. This is kind of unconventional.
Yeah, very much so. But it looks to save the community a lot of money and give us with a new property. There's a developer who has 3 essentially commercial buildings across the street from current City Hall. He approached us and said, would you be willing to do a swap? We'll develop housing on the current City Hall site and turn those buildings over to you, and you in turn can renovate them for City Hall. Current City Hall is about 60 years old, and it was going to cost us about $5 million to upgrade it anyway. So that money can now be funneled into a new project.
Yeah, it's one of these things, crazy idea on the face of it, but then you're like, maybe this could work and work well for everybody, including the city.
Yeah, and that's what La Habra's all about in so many ways, is we do think very creatively.
All right. La Habra Mayor Mike Blazey, so glad you're here today to talk about this. And glad you could join us too. I'm Leslie Leyton.